Last month, the Nintendo Wii U turned 10 years old. This console may not have been the most popular, but I still had my fair share of great times and happy memories with it. In honor and celebration of the 10th anniversary of this underrated console, I'm going to be sharing with you my personal list of the top 10 best Wii U games of all time. For the sake of this list, remakes don't count. I'm looking at you, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. I'm only concerned about original and exclusive Wii U games. Additionally, I consider Zelda Breath of the Wild more like a Switch release, since that's the copy I own. So even though Breath of the Wild got a split release on both systems, I won't be including it for my list. Lastly, there were a few Wii U games that I never had the luxury of playing. I unfortunately never got around to Yoshi's Woolly World, despite hearing great things about it. I also never got into Pikmin, Bayonetta, Monster Hunter, or several other franchises growing up. This list will only include the games that I was lucky enough to experience. And remember, this is my personal list. Yours probably looks way different, and that's okay. Alright, without further ado, let's get on with this list. In the number 10 spot is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Captain Toad was such a delightful treat. I ended up enjoying this game way more than I thought I would. The level design is brilliant, and the puzzles are just as creative. Rotating the environment to help you uncover secret paths or collectibles help make this game feel so immersive. And not every level is a walk in the park either. Some of these levels can get pretty tricky, and combine that with the fact that Toad can't even jump in this game makes for some really challenging puzzles that are so satisfying once you figure them out. Once I started playing, I got hooked and had a hard time putting this game down. Nintendo even figured out how to put boss battles in this game. I mean, seriously, how can anyone not love this game? And the icing on the cake is the chipper and catchy music. Number 9 is Mario Party 10. Okay, just for some context, I wasn't the biggest fan of the radical new direction that Mario Party 9 and 10 took the franchise. Having all the players stuck together in one moving vehicle took so much competition away, and the boards were severely nerfed as well, considering they are all now just linear paths. So why is Mario Party 10 on my list? Well, it's all thanks to Bowser Party. See, Mario Party 10 had a Bowser Party mode that admittedly I think is pretty fun. It's not as fun in single player, but if you have a group of friends to play with, Bowser Party can be an exciting and thrilling ride. I have so many nostalgic memories playing this mode with my buddies after school. Someone will play as Bowser, and the rest of the squad have to try and outrun him to the end. Even the mini-games were all variations of Bowser trying to take your mini-hearts. It's basically a 4v1. Bowser Party would always cause so much chaos but great fun at the same time between my friends and I. Even if this game is a step down for the franchise, it will still always hold a special place in my heart. Coming in at number 8 is LEGO City Undercover. This game is so interesting because it's one of the very few LEGO games with an original story, not based on any other IP unlike LEGO Star Wars or LEGO Avengers. LEGO City Undercover is definitely underrated. The open world is so much fun to explore and the story is both serious and humorous at the same time. I've heard people compare this game to a PG-13 GTA, and honestly, that's not too far from the truth. It's been a long time since I played this game, but all I remember was falling in love with it. At number 7 is Super Mario Maker, and I absolutely love this game. Mario Maker was Nintendo's love letter to all the fan favorite and critically acclaimed 2D Mario side-scrollers. With the ability to now create your own Super Mario levels from the ground up using dozens of enemies, items, and other assets was absolutely groundbreaking. And not only can you change between different themes including ghost house, water, or castle levels, but you can also change between 4 different art styles. Want to recreate a classic level based on the original Super Mario Bros? No problem. You want to design a world inspired by an NES fan favorite? We got you covered. Want to revisit Dinosaur Land? Easy. And even if you want to play a more modern style, we got that too. I mean seriously, Super Mario Maker has everything. You can literally design any level in any art style and theme with any arrangement of enemies, blocks, and items. Your imagination is the limit. It's kind of like a 2D Mario Minecraft. The replayability is practically infinite since you can always boot up and play an endless supply of original levels created by gamers all over the world. I mean, there's a reason that I have played Mario Maker 2 for over 400 hours. The point is, this game is awesome. Coming in at number 6 is New Super Mario Bros. U. Many people were starting to think that the New Super Mario Bros. Series was becoming stale by the time this one came out. I mean, that same year we just got New Super Mario Bros. 2 for the 3DS. But I don't care. I've always enjoyed these games, but more importantly, I've always enjoyed these games with company. When we first got this game back in 2012, my brother and sister and I started devouring this game together. Over the next month or so, we wouldn't play unless all 3 of us could be there to progress through it together. Part of what makes these games so much fun is playing it with friends. One minute you're working together trying to reach that star coin or defeat that boss, and the next you're throwing each other off a cliff or feuding over who should get that power up. Some of my favorite gaming memories were playing through this game with my family, even if it was at times a tug of war between working together or playing more selfishly. But honestly, that just made this game even better. At number 5, we got Nintendo Land. When the Nintendo Wii launched way back in 2006, it came with what would become one of the most influential and greatest games of that console's entire life: Wii Sports. What was Nintendo's idea to top this, you may ask? Nintendo Land. Now, I admit, on the surface, this game looked pretty alright, nothing special, but oh boy was I wrong. Just like New Super Mario Bros. U, we got this game alongside the Wii U itself for Christmas 2012. We were more eager to start Super Mario Bros, but decided we'd try Nintendo Land out first, since it was the official launch title for the system after all. It didn't take long for my entire family to become hooked on this game. There were a few minigames that actually supported 5 players, like Luigi's Mansion, Mario Chase, and Animal Crossing Sweet Day. This allowed my entire family to play together. The rest of that Christmas holiday was filled with so much joy and laughter. Plus, the Wii U gamepad functionality was executed to perfection for the most part, allowing for 2 different perspectives, one for each opposing team, all the while keeping the team that's using the TV from screen peeking against the player using the gamepad. A lot of the single player minigames even use the gamepad well and in unique ways. And over the years, my brother and sister and I would every once in a while go back to this game to relive some of our favorite moments. The only downside I can think of is that the minigames that support 5 players don't support single player. You need at least 2 players to play those minigames. It's weird that there's no computer player option. Nonetheless, this game is still legendary, and I'm honestly surprised that we don't have a sequel. Coming in at number 4 is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Where do I even start with this game? To this day, Tropical Freeze is the absolute hands down best 2D platformer I have ever had the privilege to play. There isn't a single boring level in this game. Every level is so brilliantly meticulously configured. Retro Studios have shown with this game that they have mastered the art of level design. The challenging platforming will keep you on your toes, yet eager to see what awaits you ahead. Defeating those difficult bosses will give you such a relief and a sense of satisfaction. And finally, the fun and impressive musical score throughout this adventure will be sure to leave you with a smile on your face. I've never had such an experience with a game before. This title should be the gold standard for what a platformer can be. I loved every minute of this game so much that I played through it again a second time. I am giddy with excitement to see what Retro Studios does next. Coming in at the number 3 spot is Mario Kart 8. I have been a Mario Kart fan since my earliest memories. I grew up playing Mario Kart 64 and Double Dash, but that was only the beginning. As arguably one of Nintendo's biggest franchises, Mario Kart never showed any signs of slowing down. And when Mario Kart 8 was finally released on the Wii U, it did not disappoint. I find enjoyment in nearly all the tracks in this game. With the new anti-gravity feature, Nintendo was able to come up with some really mind-blowing ideas. I mean, Mario Circuit is literally shaped as a Mobius strip, allowing racers to drive above and below the same piece of road within the same lap. Throw in some fan favorites like Mount Wario or Cloud Top Cruise, and you've got a hit on your hands. Compared to previous Mario Karts, the new engine and lighting improvements really stand out in this game. The environment and details just look so beautiful, and the simple controls allows this game to be easily accessible to so many. About a year after release, Nintendo released 2 waves of DLC, introducing Link, the Inklings, and the Animal Crossing villagers as playable racers. In addition, we got brand new tracks set in Hyrule, F-Zero's Mute City, and more, solidifying this game as a top contender. Coming in at the number 2 spot, you knew this game was going to be on the list. Super Smash Bros. I was a big fan of Melee and Brawl in my early years, but it was Smash 4 that really hooked me. I was finally old enough and a more experienced gamer by the time Smash 4 came out to really learn how to put combos together and how to dodge and shield effectively. I was a little young still to master Melee and Brawl when those games came out. I still enjoyed them tons, no doubt, but it was more about getting through adventure mode as fast as I can or struggling to beat Taboo in Subspace Emissary. This time around, things were different. The gloves were off, and my friends and I were off to the races. Smash was the game we'd spend the most time playing after school. There was a streak of a few months back in junior high where it was basically tradition. We'd walk either to my house or one of my buddies' places most days of the week after school and beef it out in Smash. And oh boy did this game destroy our friendship. One match you're screaming at your friends, and the next you're bragging about how you're a god while single-handedly taking on the opposing team with only one stock left. The only upset is this game lacked any version of an adventure mode or a single player story, something that this series' predecessor achieved remarkably. Nonetheless, when playing with a group of friends, this game still produces a handshaking, adrenaline rush, blood-pumping good time. And that's alright with me. And all that just to bring us to my number 1 spot. My number 1 favorite Wii U game of all time is Super Mario 3D World. Nintendo flawlessly splices 2D and 3D together to create this unforgettable adventure. Every level is full of life and jam-packed with brand new ideas. I can't think of even a single bad stage. This game is filled to the brim with fun and creativity. And the best part is that Nintendo doesn't rely on any one of these new ideas so much to the point they become stale. Nintendo is always switching it up to keep you on your toes. You got a level where you have to precisely time the swapping platforms to the beat of the music. Here's one where you have to play as the silhouettes to your character. In this one, you gotta avoid all of Bowser's big spotlights, and in this one, the flagpole literally tries to fly away from you. You got Mario Kart, the Plessie levels, and this one's basically Galaga. No one level mechanic becomes old, since Nintendo spreads them out across the entire game. Every level is a breath of fresh air and leaves you eager to see what's next around the corner. Even the final boss fight is a unique change of pace. This time around, the final battle acts more like a platform than a traditional Bowser fight. You have to quickly and cautiously dodge all of the Meowsers during your climb to the top of the tower to hit the giant POW block. Not surprisingly, this game is even better when played with friends. Like before, me and my 2 siblings played through this entire game together. If ever one of us was busy, it meant we couldn't play. And whenever that happened, I would get upset as I was always ready for an excuse to turn this game on. That's how obsessed I was. Coming up with new strategies together on how to defeat the bosses or scavenging for all those collectibles made this game even more memorable and a big standout in my childhood. If you include the Nintendo Switch version, I've played through this entire game beginning to end probably 6 or 7 times. There's just something about this game. The charm, the music, the landscapes, the platforming, and the variety of new items and enemies. I'll never get bored of starting yet another save file of Super Mario 3D World. And with that, those are my top 10 greatest Wii U games of all time. Well, that just about wraps up today's video. This list was a lot of fun to make as I got to relive some of my favorite Wii U memories. Feel free to share your own list in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for listening and for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. And with that, hopefully I'll see you next time, and have a great day.